Zell, go.
I was waiting for the live button. Now that's
The live
eternally
button's live.
recorded as my opening for my first episode ever. Are you done, Antoine?
Go.
Welcome to Proper Feelings.
Just fucking Christ.
That's what that felt like right there. Hey, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining me.
Oh my God.
Actually, this is my... Shut your mouth. This is my corner of the warehouse. Thank you for joining Zell Batista at the command position. I'm sure you're all wondering what this show's for. We're wondering the same thing. I have no fucking clue. But I have a couple guests planned. One of them is already here. And I think what I want to start off with is, first off, again, this is a beta test of sorts, guys. And if you're watching, if you're in chat, if you're engaging with the show, this is a show to find out about what the hell this show is going to be the fuck about. So any input is great. If you guys want to see me go a certain direction, if you're like, I love when Zell yells all the time, so make it a blood sport thing, we'll take that into account. If you're like, I love when Zell sits down and sips that little cup of tea and then throws snide remarks and then delves into philosophy, I'll be like, okay, thank you, Fedora Tipper. We'll take that into account. So just engage with us, hang in there. If you like our personalities enough, especially mine. If you hate me, make sure to click that dislike button. It's the thumbs down one is the one you want.
Is this a stream where we actually...
This is my fucking stream. Quiet. Shut your mouth. We're doing the intro. First episode. Calm down. We got a Mr. Brockus in the scene. So with that aside, let me introduce my first guest on the panel. Antoine the Great. He's the gentleman that runs the stream that I, Brockus, Lo-Fi, and Antoine are on every Tuesday nights at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Proper Villains. He is the showrunner. He is the main creator. He is the leader of the Proper Villains. And tonight, usually, Antoine, you do a bit of a character who is Antoine, if I'm not mistaken. And tonight, you're like, fuck it. Fuck the British accent. I want to relax. I want to be me. So if you would introduce yourself, sir, and it might be scary to some people who have just only heard the British accent.
I don't know what you're talking about. What character are you talking about? What the fuck?
Are we doing a Magog thing then? Is that what we're doing?
No, we're not doing a Magog thing. Hello, everyone.
Okay.
My name is Antoine the Great. Yes, I am the host of Help for the Guildless and one of the hosts of the Proper Villains. Zell has dragged me on here because he can't do a proper intro. And
wow. Okay.
Dude,
all right. Next. Okay. So there's Brockus. Now, Brockus. Go ahead.
Dude, that drug on painfully long.
I like to drag
long.
on. I like to drag on. I talk a bit too much. I like to drag. So that's what you're getting on this show. I like things to be sort of proper, unlike a certain show you host that I'm part of.
Hey, wrangling the three of you is like trying to wrangle monkeys with shotguns, okay? That are high on rock cocaine and heroin.
So how do you know I've been smoking rock cocaine?
Shut your fucking mouth, not you yet. So Antoine, what's with? Do you want to talk about what's with the character and what's with also just feeling like you want to drop it at times?
Sure. Okay. So I play a character named Antoine. Of course, not my real name. But every single time I decide to try and drop the character so people get a gander at who I am, all I get is someone like, the Dahlia Show, who's says Antoine has the worst fake American accent. I just want people to figure, I'm tired of people liking the character more than me when I am the character. They just like the voice. So I have no problem jumping on other streams talking normal and things like that. If they want me to jump into character, I can, or if I want to spurg out as Antoine, I can. It's very easy to jump into the accent again. But other than that, this is me, guys. You're gonna have to fucking deal with it. Zell has to deal with it. Anybody who's talked to me off air has to deal with it.
Especially after like getting used to that sexy British accent for so long. It's pretty tough to deal with your really mundane voice.
Oh, don't use that word. Don't use that word. No.
No. So let's get to our other guest here. I got a giant orc in the room, and his name is Brockus, and he joins us on the Proper Villains stream.
He's fat.
And
These are
I like
facts.
that. I like that Schmeckle's like, I'm gonna stop eating this hot dog to unmute and call him fat.
But it's true. I have a fact.
That's the thing I needed to unmute for. It is true, but it's super depressing. So we have a gentleman by the name of Brockus. He cosplays as a giant orc. It looks as gay as it sounds, but he's a good guy.
Well, okay, sometimes.
With a big heart and a small brain.
Only sometimes? How is 95% of the time sometimes?
Because sometimes it's not gay.
That silence said it all, bro.
That doesn't. Yeah, that's not how it works
Yeah, that's creepy
at all.
So, Brockus, do you wanna tell the audience about yourself? I just like to treat this shit like it's brand new.
No, that's fair. Hi.
Wait,
I'm
they
Brockus.
have to hear about Brockus on the cunt stream again since he's on it like every fucking night.
No, you got a point, dude. He does like these 15-minute rambles. Brockus, keep it down to about 20 seconds. We'll leave you there, okay?
No, I was literally done when I said hi. I'm Brockus.
Okay, that was it. That was Brockus. Okay, he talks and has a voice, and he maybe has a dick, and you maybe can see it. And he's
I'm also fat.
Jesus fucking Christ!
These are facts.
So I got my guests out of the way. First off, how you guys doing tonight? Pretty shitty night.
My arm.
Well, I was doing fine until really early this morning.
Okay, do you want to tell me, is this about the Twitter thing?
This is about the Twitter thing.
All right, so tell me about this, because I hear from Cadunt out of nowhere, oh, by the way, don't DM Antoine the link on Twitter because he's banned something about faggot.
Well, okay, so there is this kid, and I have to say kid because he's acting like he's fucking Batman of the internet. We all know that's, Brockus.
What?
Who's going after MTG headquarters. I ran into him like 4 months ago, and his name is the Hellion 666 because he has to be edgy as possible.
So
and yeah, I know, so original, right? So today, for some reason, he starts threatening people's jobs and is basically saying that, hey, we need to cleanse the internet. We need to cleanse Magic the Gathering of these people, and it's really there's going to be a lot of unemployed people, so there's going to be a lot of jobs when you all get fired. So I retweet him, and I basically say the reason for anonymity is because of moral fags like you and ideologues that have no business trying to be the moral authority.
Wait, so he wanted to go after people and was upset that he couldn't because of anonymity?
Yes. It sounds familiar, right? It sounds like someone we've dealt with recently who doesn't like avatars.
It sounds like a few people, but it sounds like one specific person who was very upset that we fucked their boyfriend. Very upset. It wasn't that good a life.
I did it 4 times.
Upset. Okay, that probably upset him a little bit. I'd get mad too.
And I'm not quite sure that it's not him. So anyway, he decides he's going to start railing against me. He's going to go after my job and shit like that. And he goes, well, I wonder if your employer in California knows that you do this and this and this. I'm like, dude, fucking bring it. I only got 5 more fucking days of my job anyway. I don't tell him that, but you can go ahead. My boss knows what I do. He's listened to my show. I don't give a fuck. All right. This motherfucker. So I report him. He's threatening other people. I report him for other people. I even use their language. I tell him it's all about my fifis. I feel like I'm being threatened. I feel like my family's in danger.
So you reported him?
I did. Now, there's a reason why. Because I was testing something. I was testing.
You pulled a Sargon?
No. Well, yeah, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I did. because I did not go after him hard. Moral fag is the worst thing I said to him. Everything else, because he promised, this is why, he promised he was going to do a video about me and that he was going to educate me. I love people who use that word because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So my responses to him every single time he threatened me with my job was, where is the video? I need the video. Give me the video. This motherfucker reported me for saying moral fag. Now, Twitter has no problem with him threatening my family, with him threatening my job, and with him telling everybody in the Twitter sphere that I'm in California. But apparently they have a really, really strong problem with the word faggot.
Yeah, you can't
Because
say
that's
that
why.
one.
Yeah, so I'm appealing it. I don't think it's going to do anything. So as of right now, I am locked out of my account. But if
How long?
I delete, until they appeal it. If the appeal goes
Jesus
through,
Christ.
yeah, if the appeal goes through, I'll get all my stuff back. It's like Razorfist when he went through this. If the appeal goes through,
I've never experienced the ban. I've only experienced the suspension, where they're like, "Here's 12 hours, you naughty little boy," and the suspension was over me complimenting Joy Sparkle BS of all people. It was Joy Sparkle BS, and I was like, "You's a crazy bitch, but I love you," and that was suspension worthy.
it's because you called her a bitch. But
no, he called her crazy.
oh,
They don't care that
she
he
is
called her
crazy.
a bitch. He called. No, it doesn't matter. Twitter doesn't like it when you call people crazy. Call them a bitch all you want. Don't call them crazy.
So if the appeal doesn't go through and I'm forced to delete the tweet, it is a 7-day ban for the word fag. 7 fucking days.
Here's what blows my mind too.
10 out of 10 Twitter would do it again. Fuck off.
Right. Here's what blows my
shit.
fucking mind too is, okay, anyone watching, or you Antoine or you Brockus, go through my fucking timeline, and I swear to God, I'm not 100% on this. I swear to God, at least half a dozen times I've had tweets, like main tweets, just saying nigger. Nothing. I've heard
it
nothing
is your
back.
favorite word.
I've heard nothing back. But crazy bitch, cross the line. How dare you?
Yeah. Don't you understand calling people crazy bitches? It's harmful. It can cause people to kill themselves.
Well, what's great is I'm still getting notifications from Twitter. That's how I knew you were trying to DM me and the co-host that will not be named that decided not to show up.
Yeah.
I have 30-something Twitter notifications that I can't check. And it's all from other people that are just fucking going in on Hellion 666 and just destroying the little fucker. So
Jesus Christ. That was my
yeah.
screen name when I was mastering computer consoles at 8 years old. # lore.
What are you talking about? 8 years old? I thought you just learned how to turn on a computer 2 weeks ago. Have you been lying to me this whole fucking time?
Yeah, I'm a hacker. I don't fucking tell the truth. So anyway, next so that's fucked up. Brockus, aside from your fucking shoulder, I always got to hear about this goddamn shoulder. I'm gonna just chop off your arm. Is there anything bugging you this week? You having a good day?
Okay. I'm going to start off by saying, yeah, I actually surprisingly have been having good days lately. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with me, but the gloominess in my brain has lifted. I've been on a more positive emotional ride. By the way, knowing you cannot actually respond on Twitter, I called Antoine a fag. So there. Anyways,
yeah, I got the notification. I got the notification. Thanks, asshole.
When I was suspended for 12 hours, there was like a couple people that like sent DMs to me that were like, it was something to the effect of like pretty much fuck off. And I wanted to like, it's so unfortunate you get suspended or banned at just the wrong time when you're like, I need to reply now.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
if I accept
lately.
if I accept the 7-day ban, the only thing I'll be able to do is fucking scroll through Twitter, which is boring because I can't like anything, I can't retweet anything, and I can DM people,
Yeah.
and that's it. That's all I
Yeah,
can do.
yeah. When I was on my suspension, I was allowed to DM people, but I couldn't. I could only DM text. I couldn't even because I took a screenshot of what I was suspended for, and I
Yeah, you
couldn't
couldn't share
send that
you
through
couldn't share the picture,
DM. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that
and
was
then
annoying too. Is a lot of people were hitting me up, and they're like, DM me the photo, like show me why you were suspended, and I'm like, I can't even fucking do that. So I think I
yeah, but
ended up
then we
doing it
were
in
like,
Discord.
show us on Discord, and you're like, oh, I
I was like,
forgot
oh
I'm even fucking
yeah,
on
yeah,
there.
yeah. Like I always do
Yeah,
that. I always lapse on like how all these things interconnect. Durr.
All right,
Brock is you there?
no, he's gone.
No, I'm here. I just had to mute myself for a bit.
So anyway,
I thought you went to go eat. I thought you went to go. See, that's why you've been depressed, dude. You've been eating too many people.
No,
it's high in calories.
He was just talking about how he's been having good days. So like,
yeah,
is that what you got?
It's because he stopped eating people.
That might have helped.
That is one of the things that I definitely I'm pleased to report and everything. But no, there have been a couple of things that have been just grinding on some nerves of mine. One of them is comic book related, but not directly comic book related, I suppose. And the other one is something that just recently came to my attention that AP, your senpai, actually brought to my attention. All of these fucking
that you're not really an orc?
No. All of these fucking kids in the news that are basically...
Wait, they didn't tell you that you're not an orc?
Can you shut the fuck up? Anyways.
Don't look at me. I'm not going to fucking mute him.
Just saying. Antoine's being a fag.
Get to your fucking point. What was it?
Basically,
are you going to tell the story or what, Rockus? Jesus Christ.
I mean, you can mute him. I'm just saying I'm not gonna.
The thing is a lot of people will probably go online and just, be like, I know where you live, Antoine. Well, not for long, but, whatever. But I actually know where he lives.
Hey,
down the street.
Is this a threat?
You know what?
Are you threatening him?
My house is mobile, remember?
On your lawn. I will poop on your lawn.
It may actually help the lawn grow, so bring it.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Nothing remotely helpful for you or your landlord.
Tell your fucking story already, or we're gonna move on.
Stop interrupting me. All these fucking kids in the news lately.
You spit it out already.
God damn it! He did it! God damn it! God damn it!
All of these kids in the news
I don't want to...
trying to tell adults how politics are supposed to work and how everything should work. And, oh, we're not trying to take your guns away, but we're really trying to take your guns away. All that shit. All these kids, I realized something. They're young adult novel characters. Every one of them.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we were just talking about this the other day. Like, every one of them is like, it's always an uprising or rebellion.
Yeah. It's
and
always
they feel like they're taking part in that.
Exactly. That's what they think is happening. They think this is like that moment in the Hunger Games or fucking Twilight where they're just standing up against the authority. We're not gonna take it. That bullshit is happening right now, and they don't seem to understand this is not going to play out the way you think it is.
No, because they've had shit like this is, Hogwarts is fucking real shoved down their throats for the last, 10 years.
When they're using funny.
Yeah, they're using Voldemort was, Voldemort was better than Trump. Voldemort's a fucking character, you pieces of shit.
No. Here's the thing. It all comes back to, this is why I said it all comes back to fucking Harry Potter, Zell. It does tend to all come back to fucking Harry Potter because these kids won't stop shutting the fuck up about Harry Potter. Here's the actual difference between the Harry Potter stories and, say, Hunger Games. Harry Potter is a wizard. Take that away, and what do you have? Pretty downtrodden kid, right? Somebody that we can kind of all relate to at some point or another. Feels pretty isolated. Yeah. He's got shitty family members. Parents might be dead, whatever. We can all relate to Harry in some way, shape, or form. He's a relatable character. And then you give him magic, and suddenly you give him this amazing wonderful thing. But then you throw him into a world where everybody has magic, and suddenly he's not special. There's nothing really special about him. He's still an interesting character because of his personal background in comparison to everybody else's personal backgrounds. But like the more you look,
what you're trying to say is there's an actual character there.
Mhm.
There are actual character arcs that are being built, threaded, and followed through with when it comes to Harry Potter. Because I will say, Harry Potter to me is still like, we were talking about this the other day. Again, you said that you think Harry Potter is, even though Harry Potter is great, and I do agree, it's great overall. It's a great storyline, great characters. That you feel it's also responsible for the young adult novel and young adult movie craze.
Mhm.
And that everything since Harry Potter that has tried to emulate it has completely forgotten or has no clue like of what made Harry Potter great.
Yeah, exactly. Because Harry actually has to struggle, even though he has that special thing. He has magic. Yeah, he's a part of a prophecy that basically is very vague in its prophecy. Either Harry lives or Harry dies. Either Voldemort lives or Voldemort dies. Neither one can coexist at the same time. One has to kill the other. That is literally what the prophecy is pretty much telling everybody throughout the entire story. And
So
eventually,
what you're saying,
what you're saying is these activist kids, they're more so emulating the copycats craze.
the Katniss Everdeen's,
that unfolded,
the
unfolded,
Bellas.
Yeah, that unfolded after Harry Potter. And
Exactly.
I think nothing exemplifies that any more than the photo of David Hogg or whatever the fuck his name is.
You mean Katniss Everdeen?
Yeah, putting his
Sorry,
fist
he's
in the air.
He's Katniss for me all
putting
the time.
his fist in the fucking air with that suit on and just having this righteous look on his face. Like, if you tell any 17, 18, 19, or 20-year-old, if you tell them, like, here, take this baton and march down the street, and people are going to take photos of you and say you're important on Twitter, they're going to do it. These kids are getting high off of a movement that by the time they're 30 years old, they're going to be like, the fuck was I doing? Restricting liberty and freedom? What the fuck? But they're high as fuck right now.
Yep, that's basically what it is. Harry was an actually good character. Luke Skywalker is an actually good character. These characters did not just simply get handed shit. They actually had to struggle. Harry, even though he was the chosen one, consistently had to deal with people around him dying. The ones who cared about him the most were consistently dying, and there wasn't really much he could do about it.
I don't want to get too much off the beaten path with like rambling about the movies and what makes good. We can probably bring that up a little later, but your point is well said, and this is why to me, like, when it comes to this whole there's so many catchphrases now. What's theirs? March for
your life.
Yeah. Like these kids, anytime I see them, anytime I hear them speaking, I just, like, no joke, I get a sick feeling in my stomach, because you might be able to say, the people that are behind this, they might be able to say, like, oh, well, we don't force them to say what they say. You know, they're just agreeing with us. But you know what you're doing when you put a suit on a kid and you go, hey, you know, you can go back to school, or there's a stage over here where thousands of people will chant for you if you just kind of say these words, and it's up to you. It's like, that's an evil fuck.
Yeah,
And
those kids are all nipples.
It's disgusting to me that it's like, it's being allowed. You know, it's like, what's next? Why not have 14-year-olds coming up with pushing political decisions? Why not?
Yeah.
I have to point something out. This is weird. Brockus, can you see Zell's avatar? Did he finally get it fucking fixed?
Oh, it sometimes work. I think it technically might depend on
He lost the
his
joke.
avatar.
He did not. He took that
No,
seriously. Am I showing up though?
Yes,
Actually,
you're showing up.
Oh my god, it's a fucking miracle. But no, okay. Point aside, great point. Let's I want to cover some current event topics.
Okay.
It's going to be all over the place. It could be political, controversial, and then I have some juicy juicy movie ones for you guys. But Antoine, you had a cool article.
I wouldn't call it cool, but it was definitely cringe and laugh worthy.
Actually, Brockus is screen sharing right now. So if you want to send the link to Brockus or tell Brockus what to look up, he can present it while you talk about it.
Okay, so I'll put the link in the side chat. What the fuck? No, that's not Starfire. No.
No. Let me explain. This is the Starfire from the TV show. Does not look like Starfire. Looks like a fucking hooker you'd see in New York City at 2 a.m. Okay? This is a black cosplayer cosplaying a Starfire-esque look. She bought a $10 wig, put on the motherfucking makeup, looks like she could actually be Starfire in a fucking movie or TV show. What the fuck is this? This is bullshit.
Oh,
this is them not even trying anymore.
Show?
Yeah, it's for the Teen Titans TV show.
I don't have high hopes for it because, you know, it's the whole CW thing. And
yep.
It's just, to me, it's just Dawson's Creek with uniforms.
Bragas, it's in the side chat.
I got you.
If you want, we can shit on that movie or shit on that show.
We will.
To the movie news.
We'll do that.
So, this was thanks to Antoine.
I was actually going to do a video about this, but I passed it by. Biblical prophecy claims the rapture is coming on April 23rd, numerologists say. Now, it's not a normal numerologist. It's a Christian numerologist.
Oh, excuse me.
What's really I know, but what's really funny...
Final Fantasy VII. Just saying.
It probably might be from the new remake.
Brockus there? Go ahead, Antoine.
Okay, so it says, for a certain branch of evangelical Christianity, Revelations 12:1-2 describes the beginning of what is known as the rapture and the second coming of Christ. This is the passage. Tell me where it talks about the rapture. Tell me anywhere in this passage where it talks about the rapture. And a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. She was pregnant and was crying out in birth pains and the agony of giving birth.
That sounds like Starfire if she got knocked up by Nightwing.
Would you knock it off?
Just saying!
No, that just sounds like a woman got laid.
Yeah.
Right. Apparently that passage is supposed to represent Virgo. Now, what makes this guy completely, aside from being an evangelical Christian and a, end of the world rapture apocalypse believer that's coming in 11 days, he is also a believer in Planet X.
That doesn't make sense.
Well,
now, for the audience, Planet X is actually a pretty old thing. Do you want to touch on what Planet X is?
Okay, so what Planet X is when you look at a map of the solar system, there is a blank space in between the sun and Mercury. What certain people believe is Nibiru, which is what they call Planet X, is orbiting the sun between Mercury and the sun. It has the fastest orbit, which is why no one has ever seen it, but there is always shadows of it on the sun. What this motherfucker believes is not only is Planet X going to break away from the orbit, from the gravity of the sun, but it is going to pass the gravity of Mercury in Mercury's orbit, pass the gravity of Venus in Venus's orbit, and show up in the Earth's orbit in its sky.
And then just sit there?
And that's going to be the beginning of the end, because it is going to cause volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, and earthquakes.
Yeah, it's going to cause a lot of shit. If this is true, but what is his?
There's no possible fucking way. The 23rd, which means for it to reach us. It doesn't state. It's a really short article. It says the 23rd is a monumentous date because he said so. Here's the thing. if Planet X was real, it would have had to start moving towards our orbit like 10 years ago to get to us in 11 days. How do people believe this shit?
I don't know, dude. I'm still like, maybe we do need to like call up those centers where they have those giant cans, those buckets of like mashed potatoes and stuff. Maybe we do need to get a bunker and start bunkering down. Like, don't be so dismissive is what I'm saying. I'm hoping it's zombies. Brockus loves zombies.
I hate zombies.
No zombies. No zombies. So no, cut with the zombies.
Well,
no
it
zombies.
makes sense. Nibiru comes to the planet Earth, and then volcanoes erupt, and then the volcanoes have like infected magma because of the Nibiru thing, and then it infects the locals, and then they go crazy. And because they're near a volcano, they're probably already darkies. So we get to kill darky zombies. That's what you're.
So
that was what you were.
So
saying,
what you're
right?
saying? What you're saying is you want to kill nigger zombies.
I did. I want to do that. I do want to do that. Yeah. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
Black on black, more like live on dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You implied it.
So yes, this man is insane.
It does state his name.
Ellie-
I got it. His name is David Mead.
Okay.
I think. Now, when I first heard the name, I thought it was the guy that came out a couple years ago, who was like the rapture, the end of the world is going to happen at a certain date, and like people paid him tens of millions of dollars, and then it never happened.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, look, tax shelter," and and kind of just ran away with the money, and then is still making predictions that he misunderstood the readings of the Bible and where the end of the world is going to happen. But it's not. It's actually someone who is actually quite young. Now, when I say young, I mean relatively young. He looks to be in his 40s. And he believes this shit. NASA has said many times that there is no such thing as Planet X.
Yeah, but it's NASA, and like they lie and stuff.
Oh yeah, because they faked the moon landing. Didn't you know that, Zell? I thought you were in on that.
Yeah, that's not true. Like they actually just got like truckloads of cheese, and then they put cheese on the ground, and then they had like wires, and then the guys like walked around in suits on the cheese, and it's like obvious if you watch the video. Like even one of the guys at one point even like picks up some of the cheese to eat it, and then he gets like, you could tell someone off camera is like, "Stop eating that cheese," and he puts it down. It's obvious. It's a fake.
All right, let's move on.
I should be a fucking conspiracy theorist. I just love like quieting a room like that. Like I would love to make conspiracy theorists uncomfortable about their own conspiracy theories.
Well, I just want to know. I honestly want to know about the people who believe this shit, because I can't. We couldn't even keep a secret about Brockus's real name, and they expect the government, with hundreds of thousands of people working for it, to be able to keep one specific secret because they signed a non-disclosure agreement on punishment of death. If I knew for a fact that the moon landing was faked, I would tell fucking everybody. I'd be like, look,
yeah, it would eventually come out.
Yeah, I got pictures. I know where this. Come on, look. It would be the number one pickup line I would use every single time. Guaranteed panty dropper.
Yeah. But for a
I know where they
conspiracy
filmed
theorist,
the moon landing.
Yeah, for a conspiracy theorist though, what drives them is they have an overload of a sense of fear or fight or flight. And it's gonna sound weird at first, but I'm gonna get to how them believing conspiracy theories resolves the fight or flight syndrome. It calms it down, because what they do is, for a conspiracy theorist, it actually is calming to them. It actually helps them collect themselves when they can believe that human beings, and it has to be nefarious too, because nefarious plans are the best way to show off intelligence to some degree. So they always have to concoct these nefarious plans because it calms them down when they think that people can be in that much control and people can be that powerful. It calms them down because then it's like, okay, I have just explained things that really bother me. It's like someone with OCD putting certain files in certain filing cabinets. It calms them down. Okay, I know where everything is now. When it comes to the moon landing, okay, I know. I know.
It also makes them feel like the hero. It makes them feel like the hero of their own story.
And that too. There's also the self-importance complex too. Yeah. But yeah, fucking stupid, crazy. If you're watching and you believe in this stuff, I'm sorry, you're a nigger. So
Jason Gruthius says, thanks to these people, if aliens ever do visit, they'll say we come in peace and get blasted with a shotgun. No, don't worry about the aliens coming to this planet. We are the ghetto of the universe. We are Compton. We're Compton. The aliens come to fucking when they come, come to our planet. What?
What if we get visited by aliens that, like, aside from inventing space travel, they're worse than us in every other way? Like, wouldn't that be great? If they just showed up and they're like, "What's that?" It's corn. We actually farm things. Holy shit, you can farm? Yeah, we're gonna have to teach these guys a lot. How do your guys' spaceships work? We don't know. We lucked out one day. Okay, like.
We don't know, man. That blue thing glows. That's all we know. And when it glows, we go really, really fast.
Yeah. Well,
no, but we're serious. We're like Compton of the universe. People, when aliens pass by us, they lock their windows and then like go wave and
roll them up.
Kids, you seeing all this plight? Roll them up.
Roll them up.
All right, so what do we got next?
So yeah, that bastard's crazy. So let's touch on YouTube. Specifically YouTubers, gaming YouTubers.
Shooting up. Oh, I was gonna say shooting up YouTube without actually being able to.
That's old news.
I know.
But
which is really sad.
We got you know. Are you a fan of any gaming YouTubers like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye?
I love Markiplier. Markiplier is amazing.
I do like Markiplier, and I used to hate PewDiePie, but now I like him. He's a good guy. Believe
it or not, I have never seen a single PewDiePie video.
Really?
Not a single fucking one.
His latest stuff is actually more amusing.
He's a very amusing guy. Well, a lot of these gaming YouTubers, they like to upload shit for clickbait, get views. That's why I avoid a lot of them. There was one special gentleman this week.
Oh.
His channel goes by the name Touch Delight. And he thought it was a brilliant idea.
Delight?
Touch Delight, yes. He thought it was a brilliant idea. He thought it was a brilliant idea. Put that name
to his YouTube channel? That's an amazing YouTube name. Right? Touch Delight.
Touch Delight.
Sounds like he was touched early.
He was touched a little early in the head with paint chips. So
yeah,
he thought it was a brilliant idea to take this his 17-year-old friend, who is a girl, put her in one of his videos. But in the description and in the title and in the description of the video on Twitter, the description was, I don't know if I could pull it up, but it was something to the effect of, watch my 13-year-old sister take one piece of clothing off for every kill I get in, I think it was like Fortnite or Call of Duty.
Fortnite,
thank you. And of course,
that's what Matt Pat was talking about. I watched the Game Theorist. That's what Matt Pat was talking about. I thought he was just making a joke, and then he got really serious with it, and I was like, okay, that had to have been a thing.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
But I don't.
It's not a typo. In the video itself, he doubles down on this concept. Like we know for a fact now that it's just some 17-year-old girl who's a friend of his, and she's got her own YouTube channel. But he seems to be doubling down on like the role playing thing of like, this is my 13-year-old sister. He even had a video where he played out that that's his 13-year-old sister, and a friend of his convinces him to kiss her. And I don't know, man. It's like, at first it's like, haha, clickbait, but then you watch the video and you're like, oh no, you really want people who are going to enjoy a concept of a man kissing his 13-year-old sister or getting her naked. You want those people to watch your video. Like, you're not joking. What the fuck?
This is fuck? He's taking the whole YouTube prank videos and mixing it with his gaming. I applaud him for an ingenious idea.
No, but it's not pranking.
No, it's not. None of the fucking YouTube prank videos are fucking prank videos. Come on now.
No. I know. But they like to, like, at least the social experiment prank videos, at least they have like an air of like, yeah, it's fake, but watch and pretend it's real. With this guy, he doubles down on like, no, I want.
How many subscribers does he have?
I don't know. I didn't get the figure. Brockus will probably find it out in 2 seconds.
Because I can guarantee you, before he did this, it was a low number. After he did this, it was a huge number.
Huge number, or a huge number left, but like a lot more views because people want to comment like how sick he is. I mean, it's Elsagate.
It's Elsagate.
It's like if I took. It's like if I had your Gwyn on my channel, and I was like, welcome to, like, it's a different show, right? And I was like, welcome to God, this is gonna sound terrible, but like, welcome to Zell's Kitty Lane, and let's talk with 10-year-old Gwyn. And I doubled down on like, no, this is 10-year-old Gwyn, and then 10-year-old Gwyn and I are gonna talk about what she's wearing underneath her skirt. It's like, and at no point do I break character. People are gonna have a fucking issue, and there's something wrong with me, right?
I'm looking at Gwen right now, and there is no possible way she's 10.
No, like, I'm saying going by the voice, whatever. I'm just saying going by the voice. It could have been anybody.
Zell says you have a kitty voice.
What?
Zell says you have a kitty voice. You need to get some bass in your chest.
You're taking this too literally. It's just an example. Let's use Opal. Let's use Opal as an example. That's a better one. Now, if I was like,
fucking with you, Zell.
I know, but if I was like, Opal, we're gonna call you fucking Jessica, and you're gonna be 10 years old on my show. And then I never broke character. I had her on my show. She's 10-year-old Jessica, and I want to talk about her panties. Aren't you going to have an issue?
Yeah. Especially if you're trying to portray it as it being real.
That's what he's doing.
I get what you're saying, but that's all he's doing. Now he can come out and say, "Dude, it's just a prank, bro. Why are you getting all mad?"
But he's not. He's coming out and saying
that's because he didn't hit the numbers that he wants yet. He's courting controversy. He wants it.
But it's not a new thing from him. Like, this was like the video that sparked a lot of stuff, but once people looked into his videos, he's been doing stuff like this for a while.
And people watch. Look, you know what happened? The Elsa Spider-Man videos, right? The ones that YouTube Kids is supposedly trying to get rid of, but somehow are now talking about.
That creeps me out, and I worry about the 5-year-olds that have gotten their hands on those videos. But with this guy, what creeps me out is he's like, he makes videos that are perfect for pedophiles. That's disturbing. Mute yourself, Brockus. Fucking dogs.
So, but he's He's playing the YouTube algorithm game.
Yeah, I don't
Because
think
he's
we
saying-
disagree on anything, Antoine. I think I'm just like I do get really upset about this subject, I guess. And so I just like I don't like when I feel like somebody's even sort of relaxing on someone like this.
I'm
'Cause I
not
think it is
relaxing
sick.
on him. I think he's a giant piece of shit. He's an absolute piece of shit. It's just there's all we can do is fucking report him, and he'll start up a new fucking channel, and then that's it, and that's where we are.
Yeah.
And he'll get the same amount of viewers right back again.
I don't know. I don't know what Brockus is up to. Brockus is probably watching that video now. Like probably ever since I mentioned it, Brockus is like soaking up all that guy's videos. You sick fuck.
He is rather. I mean, he's still rather quiet.
I know. He's enjoying those videos. Anyway, I want to kill that dude, but let's move on. And if there's any
Thanks for being
updates on that
assholes
guy,
about all of that. I'm trying to fucking move so I can actually, like, not have to deal with the fucking dog sound.
there's
But
the
I
Spurge, there's the
I have-
angry orc.
Jesus Christ. Let me talk about that Teen Titans show, and then you'll get him angry or orc. But no. I've actually been looking up his stuff, kind of. I'm not really looking at any of his videos necessarily. I'm doing a bit of research because I looked up his Social Blade. The guy got massive spikes recently.
Fucking
It's
A.
because of the controversy.
Yeah. Pretty much.
How many of those do you want to say are pedos, if not super perverted?
Well, here's the.
I can
funny
guarantee it is every single one of them follows Opal on Twitter.
part. So Touch Delight is currently sitting at 300K plus subs.
Okay.
And I was looking through his videos. The two videos that were talked about with the clickbaity stuff with that girl and everything,
Yeah.
they seem to have been partially taken down, except for the Truth or Dare with my little sister has been renamed Girlfriend. Anyways,
So he's
looking
still
at
he's still making believe it's a 13-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah, he's doubling down on the 13-year-old thing, right, Brockus?
No.
Everything
It's
that you're seeing.
it's not showing me like any kind of specific age. He's not trying to get the age thing clickbait, but basically like
He
some
might
of the
have
videos.
changed it recently, then, because this was like even an hour or two ago. He still had the 13-year-old girl thing up.
Yeah, he had to have changed it recently. But yeah, this dude has nothing but clickbait for his video thumbnails and titles and stuff like that. It is pure clickbait, all of it. He even has videos about the Cash Me Outside bitch, where he's probably roasting her or whatever. But yeah,
He did an apology video. Okay, loosely called apology video, but he did a response video because of the negative backlash that he got for the 13-year-old video thing. Like, watch a 13-year-old strip, guys. His apology video, in it, he like, I wish I could quote him verbatim, but it was pretty much like, well, I'm sorry I was born. I'm sorry my parents shat me out into this crappy world. Like, he just doubles down and doesn't give a fuck. It's his attitude towards this that's disgusting and gross. If you're listening right now, like, Touch the Light. Go report him. I don't give a fuck. If you're building an audience for pedophiles and it's not a joke, like, if there's sarcasm or a joke here, I would not mind. If there was some kind of sense of humor, I would not care. But when you're genuinely like, yeah, I hope I get views, and I don't care that it's people jerking off to a 13-year-old in their minds, like, go away.
So are you saying that he's possibly in the command, or he's possibly trying to get people in the command position with these videos?
Dude, we do not relate the command position to this guy's videos. Don't you ever? He is not. I am sure he has tried the command position multiple times and failed every time because he is not a man.
All right.
Looking at this motherfucker's social blade is just pissing me the fuck off because it's
Right?
just like looking at that, all those numbers. There's nothing red on this fucking thing except for when it shows the live button, and I'm just mad because it's like this dude isn't even. I've seen clips from his videos. He's not fucking entertaining. He actually sucks. But of course, this is one of those fucking situations where talentless fucking hacks are actually popular on YouTube because there's millions of talentless fucking hacks that keep watching him.
Okay,
thinking,
Brockus,
oh, this guy's great.
Brockus, we
Brockus,
want to be
don't-
we want to be one of those talented hacks with a lot of viewers. So let's
you don't
attack the talentless hacks too much.
Yeah, you're kind of slamming yourself pretty hard there. Knock it off.
Yeah, you're shitting in your bed. Let's not shit in the bed. But
I don't know about that, guys. People get more numbers and more views when people shit on bigger YouTubers. Fuck you, PewDiePie. What you gonna do about it?
But we will. I want to follow this story and what the fuck this guy's doing. So we will keep you updated on that shit if another show on here doesn't do it. But yeah, dirtbag, and let's move on.
Gary Cool Boobs says, "Why do some people defend pole dancing for kids?"
What?
That's a thing.
Who's
Do you want me to
defending
go
that?
on another fucking rant? What the fuck, dude? Is that a thing?
I don't know if that's a thing.
Brockus, you're my computer guy for the night. Is that a thing?
Let me look it up.
You're my pooter guy. God damn it, if that's a thing. Like parents, like a beauty pageant kind of thing? Parents are allowing it?
Hey, those toddler pageants. I used to be a pizza delivery
What?
guy. It's a thing.
Oh, no.
It's a thing.
Oh,
There's an actual child pole dancing class.
Bring it up. Just
You're
don't.
not going to be able to hear anything.
No. We don't want to hear anything. And make sure it's not too lewd. Like, try to avoid having the children be lewd in the photo. But bring it up.
All right, let me look for a good
God
article on
damn
this
it.
thing because I found a
Fuck
video where somebody's talking about it. And I lost my shit.
Sorry, this is I guess worth derailing on. I mean, just
Okay, I found one. Yes, pole dancing classes for kids exist, but should they? No. The answer is no.
the answer is
No, they
take them
should
off
not
the
be
pole
pole dancing.
and then hand them a fucking Nintendo Switch and let their minds wander. Let them imagine things and stop with sexualizing.
Why? This should not be a thing.
The short of it, a demonstration of a child's pole dancing class on TV has sparked a debate on whether fitness is appropriate or too sexual for kids. No, kid fitness is fine.
Oh, no.
Don't let it involve shit like this.
How old is that?
What is that?
Oh, no. How old is that fucking girl doing? Look at the fucking
I don't
moves
know.
she's
I
doing.
don't care. She needs
And
to
the
stop.
two girls behind her, behind the pole, they look like fucking 10 or 9.
Chris Rock once famously joked, as a father, you have only one job. Keep your daughter off the pole. Yeah. If she's dancing on a pole, you fucked up. It's 100% correct.
Great words of advice.
Exactly. Wise words, although it turns out not everyone would agree. UK TVs this morning stirred up a heated debate after featuring a bunch of 8-year-old girls whose parents illegally signed them up for class teaching them how to work the pole. God damn it!
8. It was lower than what I guessed.
Oh, I don't want to keep reading into this. No. I'm going to stop reading it because I'm just going to fucking get a massive headache. Oh my God.
That was disgusting. What the fuck? 8 years old. Dude, like give him a Flintstones vitamin and hand him a GameCube controller. What the fuck are you doing?
Being terrible parents is apparently the goddamn fucking theme of the new millennium.
That was grody. That 8-year-old was doing something on that pole that should never be done by an 8-year-old. That was grody as fuck.
Oprah deserves the Mother of the Year award just because of that article. Because there are parents out there encouraging their daughters to pole dance and the only crime Opal has is she spawned the devil into this planet. That's it.
Well, thankfully, Opal's kid is never going to be able to pole dance because it's retarded and can barely walk.
It's too tarded, so it's not gonna.
Okay, let's cleanse the palate, shall we? Because that was disgusting.
That is very disgusting. That is probably the most disturbing news I think we've ever actually covered.
So
Suicides,
something to kind of get your Oh, did you find something, Brockus? You want to hold off till we're done with this one?
No, it's still angry inducing, but in all honesty, I think I don't have to rage anymore because kids pole dancing is pretty fucking like up there on what got Brockus angry this week. Disgusting.
Dude,
parents.
We gotta bring that shit up to like, I don't know if people like Aiden or Sinatra have talked about it yet, but that shit's fucking disgusting.
They both did a video on that Lactatia kid, but that's it.
Yeah. So something that I want Antoine's and yours opinion on. I know you guys are gonna probably be pretty pissed off and sort of agree with Mr. Tucker Carlson here. Has an opinion. Bank of America won't lend money to people that have assault weapons for civilian use.
That's stupid.
And what's happening here is it's presenting sort of scary implications that businesses are starting to be able to enforce political changes like the government used to. But now it's the business, and it's all down to it just has to make one decision. First of all, is that or is that not discriminatory? And then second of all, whether it's discriminatory or not, is that scary? Because Bank of America holds what, like 10% of loans in processing?
Something like that. The unfortunate side effect to this is that you have to come to the inevitable realization, at least in the beginning, that almost every company, private or otherwise, does in fact have the right to reserve service from anyone they choose. If Chick-fil-A is so super Christian that they refuse to serve their food to homosexuals, and they basically have instructed all of their
Isn't
employees.
That depending on the state, though, Brockus?
It is also depending on the state, but there is actual.
Didn't they rule something about like people have to make cakes for gay weddings or some shit? Like,
unfortunately, yes, some states have basically pushed legislation where even if you do not believe in the actual, like, marriage and all that stuff, even if you don't approve of it, you still have to bake the cake, which only brings the question, well, where was this kind of thinking when, it was literally illegal to marry outside of your own race in America? It's weird.
That's why it was kind of confusing to me, because I thought there were some anti-discriminatory laws, at least in California.
Oh, no, not in California.
So
California is, California has some of the biggest anti-discrimination laws, yet at the same time, they have the biggest
Bank of America laws. So how can Bank of America make this decision? And then if Bank of America can make this decision and the left or Democrats in general are happy about this decision, I'm assuming they would be, then wouldn't the left or Democrats have to also accept that a cake baker can not have to bake a cake for a gay couple? Can't we start discriminating then?
That is the beautiful thing. And see, I know how they're going to counteract with this. They're going to go with you chose to buy a gun. You can't choose to be gay.
That's a good one, actually. That's kind of good. I like that. That's some good devil's advocate shit.
The sad thing is I used to be on the left for so long that I know how they fucking think when it gets crazy.
Yeah. Antoine, what's your opinion on this? You've been silent.
Well, I've had to actually deal with my daughter. She's been acting up. I actually have to drop out. She's been summoning demons again.
Oh, I thought she was challenging Gwen again.
There's that too. It's kind of a, they had a stare down, and Gwen was like, "You're gonna go to bed," and my daughter was like, "No, my demon army says there that I don't have to," and the living room is now a bloodbath of green guts, and our roommates might have to go to the hospital. So I unfortunately do have to drop out. Zell, thank you for inviting me on. I'm sorry I got to bounce early.
No, dude, had a blast. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I would if you ever need anyone to come in again, I'd gladly
you might be a
jump in.
fucking regular. You know, I'll drag you
Show
along
your
whether you like it
fucking
or not.
thing before you leave, Antoine.
Oh yeah.
So well, what am I shilling? Am I shilling my channel or the stream
GoFundMe.
tomorrow?
The thing that's gonna keep your kid from being on the street.
Yeah.
Oh,
GoFundMe.
okay. So I am being kicked out of my house by my 70-year-old Taiwanese landlord that I want to strangle. And we have till the end of this month. I have a GoFundMe that they've been spamming in the chat. Anything you guys can do can help. I do have a 5-year-old daughter. I do not want to have my family homeless. And thank you guys for even, if you can't donate, share it around. I know I can't help it on Twitter or anything like that right now. But share it around and get the news out. And thanks, guys.
Love you, man.
All right, see you later.
Have a good one, buddy.
Laters. I think the funniest story of his daughter challenging Gwen was I was in my room playing World of Warcraft or watching a bearing video.
You have to establish this is when you were living with them.
Yeah, I was living with him. And
Brockus once lived with Antoine, so.
And basically, I was in the other room, and all of a sudden I heard a loud thud. And I kind of came outside because I thought, something may have happened. Gwen was laying on the floor, laughing her fucking ass off, looking at her daughter. And I'm like, what happened? And she continues to tell me a story about how her daughter kicked her the fuck off the couch. Literally. And that's what I was just like, look, dude, you just got to face facts. Your daughter's already challenging you.
Yeah, that's got to be scary is when you, the day that you find out, like, oh, this thing could kill me now. Like, it has enough control over its limbs and motor skills where it can now kill me.
Right?
That's what
it was fucking hilarious.
That's when you probably think to yourself, I'm so glad I raised a good kid.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, Schmeckle, you can go ahead and mute yourself, you little fuck. I don't want to hear anything that you and your lady are doing.
Oh, God.
She was a little vocal earlier, but anyway, Brockus, welcome to Love Your Mondays.
Love Your Mondays on Thursdays now.
No, I appreciate you popping in because the person that I originally had was a super faggot and didn't show up. So you saved my first episode, and I appreciate that. Let's
you gotta bring that one chick. Fuck, Brockus' ex.
Oh,
she's not available at the moment, Schmeckle. If you would let me run my fucking show, just go put your penis in your lady.
Oh, she's a little passed out. I think that would be illegal.
Oh shit!
I mean, if she charges you against
Brockus, no!
What? It's only illegal when you have a problem.
Me into sticking my dick into an unconscious lady, Brockus. That is a bad look.
Yeah, it's a bad look, but
well, I mean, would she remember? Would she remember? Are you gonna film it? Like, I mean,
hey, how conscious are you?
Okay. If she's responding, you're in trouble. If she's responding, you're in trouble.
This show got more rapey.
Oh well, what is this show, Zell? I've been.
I'm waiting for you to go away so we can continue the show. We're having a blast and doing a good job.
Well, you maybe doing the first part.
What?
I'll pop out. I'm just saying, up the quality.
Okay, we'll try Master. Master says up the quality. So, Brockus, before we continue, let's tackle the elephant in the room. You and I are okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that like we did have a fight and a spat and all that stuff, but we tend to do that a lot. It's all right. It's normal.
Yeah, it happens.
And we were gonna get married, but the wedding is off. But it doesn't mean that we can't sit down and be good friends and do a nice little double Dutch rudder, because that's not gay.
It's a little gay.
Don't look in my eyes when you do it, and then we're solid. We're fine.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like at some point, one of us always makes eye contact with the other for some god awful reason.
So, I left Love Your Mondays, because we had a spat, and I didn't want to obligatory. I didn't want like an obligation of having to. Knowing that it was an obligation to have to hang out with you every fucking Monday night, because I knew it was going to boil up to a fight, because that's just how we are.
No, yeah.
So
Plus, you walking away.
This is a better option, because I know I could kick you at any time. So there's some control there.
No, plus you walking away allowed you to really push for your own show kind of thing, like getting yourself a little more exposed, and it allowed Kadant to actually be a co-host on a show for Cuntstream, getting her a little more exposed. So it actually does kind of in a weird way spread out.
Huh?
Yeah, it works out.
Well, I thought to myself, like, I don't know what it feels like to get a show on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You mute yourself. You mute yourself right now. Just mute yourself. Hold on. That I don't, not you, Brock, is that I don't know what it's like to have my own show on YouTube and then get fired from it. I've always wanted to know what that experience feels like, getting canned after having your own project. That's why this boat is sinking so fast. So I was going to hop onto our next article, but fucking guess who decides to show up? Ozzy, explain yourself.
I was masturbating vigorously.
God damn it.
No, we're not buying that one.
You cannot trick us with your fake megogisms.
This is a good friend of mine. This is a good friend of mine.
I forgot to mention
the person who was supposed to be the guest / co-host of the day, and instead lounged around with his Twinkies and his video games and jerked off. What the fuck, dude? So you're here? Should we let him stay, Brockus?
Yeah, might as well let him stay.
All right, Ozzy. But you're on my bad list. You're not on Schmeckel's blacklist, but you're on my bad list. I don't know if you're a nigger anymore.
Okay. Hey man,
I'm sorry.
He's bringing it back. He's making it a positive.
It's all right. He's a quiet guy anyway, so he won't get in the way.
Yeah.
But let's get this out of the way. Ozzy, good friend of mine.
Yeah.
You're a nobody, but why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Even though you're like the opposite of talkative, you're the anti-Broncos.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't hold the same fucking opinions as drugging chicks like Brockus, but
I didn't say drugger.
You said use a butt plug, one of those rib butt.
I specifically said chloroform her. That's not drugging her, but to chloroform her.
That's what? That's drugging her.
Then put anal beads.
That's drugging.
And when she's slowly waking up, rip them out like you're starting a lawnmower.
Yeah, I loved that line. Did you steal that from somewhere, by the way?
Yes, the internet. That's actually a joke. I've been creating the internet for a long time.
No, dude, I love you, but I knew that was fucking too smart for you.
Oh, I used to say something to the effects of like you were fucking like I can't remember what it was, but spinning a top, an old school top. You know how you would tie the string around and just like fucking throw that shit? But like I realized the motion didn't actually make sense. And then I started starting a lawnmower and discovered that the internet had already been doing that joke for a while. So I was like, oh, okay, well, even though it actually was organic for me, that joke isn't originally mine. So fuck, I can't actually claim it.
Yeah.
All right. You've introduced yourself, Ozzy.
Anyway,
now you're on your own in the command position. Go grab a fucking beer and relax, because we got to talk about shit.
Okay.
Brockus, Ozzy, London. has surpassed New York City with a higher murder rate.
Take their butter knives away. They can no longer be trusted.
I was just trying to walk down the street, and then here comes this dorky, and I don't know why it's always Australian with me. It always goes Australian. It always
When did anyone get here?
It always goes to Australia. Fuck it, I don't care. I'll got my butter knife here. I'm gonna jam it right up his butt, piss him off, and run away.
That's
I
a
was
knife.
walking down the street, just minding my own business, when this young dark man came up to me and said, "Give me your wallet." And I said, "No, my good man." I tried to walk away, and he stabbed me. And now my wallet is gone, as well as my watch.
It's funny that you say darky, because here's what's going on. I think this was last week, but within a matter of 24 hours, at one point last week, nine stabbings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they were murders. I forgot to catalog whether or not they were murders, but 9 stabbings.
Some of them were fatal, yes.
Yeah. Not all of them fatal, but still, within 24 hours. It was actually 6 stabbings within 90 minutes. And the London mayor, for the last couple of weeks, has repeatedly showed his stupid face on CNN and MSNBC, spouting the line that London is one of the safest cities globally. London is one of the safest cities in the world. And you have to try to grasp this. You passed up New York City, dude. You didn't pass up New York City in shin scuffs. You didn't pass up New York City in oops, I spilled my tea. You passed up New York City in murders. Can we talk about this for a bit? And then one of the major components that's driving all the murders seems to be, take a wild guess. You want to take a wild guess, Brockus, what it is? Or
Islam!
Okay. I like where you're going, because, again, they're not my skin color, so, yeah. But
Fuck those brown people.
Ozzy, take another guess.
No, I'm gonna go with Brockus.
God damn it. Just quiet, bland Ozzy. Brockus, take another guess.
I'm gonna go ahead and say non-native immigrants.
God damn it. You're fucking okay. Just think of America. Now take a wild guess.
Of who's the leading people stabbing?
What's the leading cause of all these spikes in murders and stabbings? What do you think?
Could it be the lack of firearms?
Well, the lack of firearms is driving the stabbings, obviously. I'm trying to get you to who's doing it for the most part.
Black people.
Yeah! Ding, 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 ding! Ozzy wins nothing because niggers don't matter. And yes, it was fucking Blackie tribes.
No, actually, it was also discovered that
Give me your wallets.
the majority of the people that are actually committing these crimes are, in fact, also non-natives of the UK itself.
Non-natives, but still citizens. The major, yes, immigrants are causing these issues. Muslims are just like fucking shit on top of shit. It's just more shit. So you have these no-go zones that they don't want to acknowledge, but then they do want to acknowledge, but they don't want to call them no-go zones. But the biggest component, the biggest driver right now is also these inner city black gangs that are fucking killing each other in droves. What other scenario can you think of on the macro where this exists but has been excused because external reasons? Could it be America?
Are you talking about droves of people running around committing heinous crimes, chaos, anarchy.
I'm talking about black. Let's take the word black and let's take the term inner city. And then let's add those two together, and that's equaling a problem in London. Now, where else do we see black plus inner city equals problem?
Compton, Inglewood.
Chicago.
Fucking America, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I just find it kind of convenient that okay, you guys are suffering the same problem. And here's the thing is, apparently the London mayor and other high officials that work with the mayor, there's sort of a pressure on people that are anyone that's below them to not address this problem, because guess what they're afraid of? Again,
Being
just think of
racist?
America. Yay! Ding, 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 motherfucker. Like, Brockus, you go ahead, because I just feel like I could scream about this for a fucking hour. What's your take on this shit?
So these people didn't think it was a little weird that places like fucking Sweden of all places had no-go zones, because it wasn't a possibility. It wasn't like, a 5% chance or a 15% chance. No, it was somewhere in the 90% chances that you're gonna get raped or murdered in these no-go zones. That's why they were called no-go zones. Now, I don't know about you people out there in other countries possibly listening in, or even, some people who are not that familiar with certain dangerous areas in America. But America has actually had some relatively secret no-go zones, if you are white, all over this fucking goddamn country.
Yeah, there's places that I can't go. Like, you would probably suggest that I not walk around Compton late at night.
Oh, that is a true fact. Yes.
I'm assuming, because I just look like your average suburban white kid.
Yeah, mind you,
I'm
BioBoy.
31. I'm 31 years old, and I still just look like a stupid fucking white kid.
He looks like a tubbier, older Vanilla Ice.
There you go. There you go. That's what you cut in for.
Oh shit! It's so accurate, it hurts. Oh my god.
Yes, picture a tubbier Vanilla Ice walking around in Compton. This isn't a good idea.
No, but here's the funniest part about that. You see, BioBoy is all for Black Lives Matter, and BioBoy will sit there and scream about racism.
We have to establish. We have to establish BioBoy is a friend of Brockus and I's, ex-friend. And,
yeah, he's more of an associate now at this point.
Drank the progressive Kool-Aid, so we like to mock him every now and then.
He chugged that fucking goddamn, I don't know what bottle case.
Am I thinking about who you're talking about?
Yes, the piece of shit you don't like.
Yeah. No, fuck that guy.
Yeah, the one that Ozzy's had a run-in with BioBoy, because BioBoy tried to make the moves on what was at the time Ozzy's girl.
Yep. But BioBoy basically, he has a very wonderful story about taking an actual mutual friend of ours out to Compton to go and pick up the mutual friend's girlfriend. And this wonderful story involves him really desperately needing to take a poop. And the fact that they did not want to stop for an hour driving through this location of LA County and specifically stopping at one gas station, in which case he casually, as if there was nothing wrong, but internally he's going, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Not because he has to poop very badly, but because he feels like he's going to get shot or stabbed at any given moment. And then, he's just going to shit himself right then and there. But he has to go into the gas station, public restroom, use it, and then eventually go back into the fucking vehicle. The story is fucking terrifying. It's hilarious, but it's fucking terrifying. And this motherfucker still has the audacity to fucking try to scream racism at me simply because I said, these psychotic Islamists really need to chill the fuck out, because they are really causing a problem for a lot of people. Okay, yeah.
You're evil for that. No, but
I guess so.
But anyway, so let's get back to the London thing, because the big deal here is, again, London has officially surpassed New York City in murder rate.
Yep. In stabbing specifically, because they don't. Guns are illegal in the UK. Guess who still has guns? I'm dead serious about that. They banned guns throughout the entirety of the UK.
The police officers don't even have guns.
No. But the police officers don't have guns. Did you know that there is still an actual fucking gun crime rate in the UK? Despite the fact that they're not supposed to have guns? That the only people in the UK that actually are supposed to have guns are the military themselves. But they still have a gun crime rate? Because the criminals still have guns.
Yeah, nearly 60 people killed just last year in London alone.
Yep. Oh, and you know what new law they're now passing, or at least trying to pass?
Ugh.
Banning the knives. Because there's a huge crime rate for stabbings in London.
Yeah, now they're going after the knives. And guess who's cool with that?
The criminals!
Blew my fucking mind. Huh?
The criminals. I mean, well, no, they probably wouldn't like that, but still.
No, I was going to say, atheism is unstoppable.
Yeah, because he hates guns. Of course.
Yeah, when the banning certain knives subject was brought up, he was all game for it.
Of course he would.
Now I could understand like maybe an argument for like the gun thing. Like, I'm sorry, you're talking about some freakish Orwellian control when you're like, yeah, now knives next. Like we've had Lo-Fi is one of our other villains on the Proper Villains show. And she's in Denmark. And she's talked about how they have laws there where if she walked out of her house with a kitchen knife, if it left the kitchen area, on paper, she's breaking the law there.
Well, why is she leaving the kitchen in the first place?
Whoa!
I'm kidding, Lo-Fi. I love you.
You
just made an enemy. It's too late.
There's a pissed off thing in this world now. You just created the wrong enemy.
Chubby Vanilla Ice gonna beat your ass.
No, you know what's actually...
I want to sing that turtle rap, but do it a lot slower. Like I can't breathe.
Go, turtles! Go, turtles!
Go, turtles, go! Go! Hey, please help me! Please help!
Please help! You know what's actually kind of funny?
No, like, isn't that fucking creepy? And like, do we want? First of all, isn't that creepy? Second of all, do we want that? And thirdly, like, nobody gets to tell people like us anymore that bringing up the slippery slope thing is dumb or unfounded. It's been exhibited to the nth degree in the last few months. The slippery slope is real. All they need to do is like they just go for the next thing and the next thing. They don't fucking stop. If you think they're going to stop at assault weapons, well, what they categorize as assault weapons, even though assault weapons aren't even a fucking thing. But if you think they're going to stop at quote unquote assault weapons, you're out of your fucking gourd. It's just the first fucking step.
There's going to be toothpicks.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that is Sinatra actually uploaded a video today where there is an actual kids show. It's a kids show. And they had a guest star from Saturday Night Live, who's a mother, and she blatantly states that, yes, now they want all guns banned. So they aren't trying to hide it anymore. And so, dude, go and watch that video. Sinatra did a great job of it. Actually, I think it might have been yesterday that video was uploaded, but it was within the last 24 hours. And I found that hilarious. But you know what I also find even more hilarious? AIU, American, Hillary supporter, 100% Hillary supporter, minus, the SJW stuff. Hates guns, is all for this knife ban and all that stuff. Do you know who's actually probably got some ideas against this? Because he's not even fully, completely against guns. Tim Blake.
Yeah, like Tim Blake. Tim Blake is a good example of like there's some SJWs or progressives, quote unquote, that they always surprise me, and they make it really hard to hate them. And Tim Blake's one of those guys where he's a great example of like Tim Blake is a great example of the species in that group that like he's the last of. It's dying off, but he's one of the last of that species of like having a sense of humor. Because if you notice the progressives and the SJWs, like if you watch their streams, like if you watch fucking Michael Rollins streams and Steve Shives streams, every attempt at humor is pathetic, groan-worthy. They're not funny. It's boring. It's just a really sad time. But Tim Blake, he's got a good sense of humor. It makes me chuckle every now and then.
Yeah, and I watched a video of his not too long ago where he was talking about gun control. And Tim's ideas and thoughts on the whole thing is that he doesn't believe anyone should have any kind of rifle. The rifle concept is just, it's a bad idea in his eyes. But he seems to be okay with the concept of pistols. And I would even say, like, I guess some shotguns, depending on the shotgun, like specifically pump action, most likely.
Oh man, those things. Wait till we have a school shooting with a shotgun.
Right.
And I don't mean to sound too morbid, but you thought Florida was a disaster? Like, you get a nice
paint job.
What's up?
That school's gonna have a new paint job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like, and that's what I mean is like what their argument with
blue and yellow. Now it's gold and it's crimson and crimson.
Like when the Florida shooting happened, the left tried to make it seem like our argument or their argument is look at how many times these kinds of guns have been used to massacre people. Let's at least get rid of these kinds of guns because they're used so many times to massacre people. All you need to do is follow that logically. Just use the Socratic method and follow that logically to see the logical conclusion or the outcome of that thought process. And that thought process will lead you to, well, then that just means we have to wait for the next school shooting with a shotgun so that you can campaign to ban those. And then we'll wait for the next school shooting with pistols or maybe even a few of them with pistols, and then we'll be able to campaign to ban those. So it's clear as day. It's like, yeah, you're eventually going to go after every kind of gun. Like a shotgun isn't built to kill any less than an AR-15. It just kills in a different way.
Yeah. It's just, dude, because the video that Tim did where he was talking about guns, even he would be, as far as I could tell from, because this was just before the whole knife ban thing. He actually was saying something to the effects of like, knives kill. Well, I actually do need a knife because knife is used to cut things and such like that. Can I use it as a weapon? Yes, but it has other functions. And like his argument consistently was guns only have one function, to kill. They're not used for anything other than to simply kill. And I'm like, well, I mean, the nuance to that is you can use a gun to disarm another person by simply shooting them in the arm or leg or something along those lines, but you've got to actually be good at that. So whatever, I can understand where his argument actually is, because then you're just arguing semantics. But the fact that a knife has multiple functions, not just killing, but also cutting, is like where I think if he heard the UK is banning knives, he probably just kind of looked at the news as like, well, there goes the fucking country.
Yeah. I fucking ain't. Anyway, enough of this politics and depressing shit.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy, Brockus, you want to talk about some fun movie stuff? And Brockus, don't worry, I'll let you spurg out on the Titan shit. But let's transition. Have you guys seen the new Han Solo trailer?
Oh, you mean the trailers that they're trying to push to be exhilarating and interesting and get you pumped for Solo, but all it keeps doing is making me fucking pissed off?
You know, that's one way to describe it.
Yeah.
Okay, you fucking jackass. But yeah, they had a new trailer released recently, and the release of the movie is so close. I could only assume, as far as big trailers go, this is the final one. And even in their final trailer, there is so little of this Alden Ehrenreich who's playing Han Solo. There's so little of his performance in this fucking trailer, to the point where it has me thinking they are genuinely worried about this guy's performance. What's up, Ozzy? What do you think about it?
Oh no, I just
You gonna be lame and quiet again? You goddamn it.
no, because well, one I haven't really seen a lot of the trailer, other than maybe the like small clip of Lando flying the Millennium Falcon. All that went through my head is just Han and Lando in the morning, because
Okay, I caught it. Okay. If you ever do a Community reference on my show again, I'm gonna slit your throat. But I got it.
there's gonna be more to come.
Yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of people in the chat like, "That show's gay." Like, it's one of my guilty pleasures. That show's got some pretty brilliant writing in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to the Solo movie, just so much, goddamn, so much bullshit around the movie. I don't even know where to start. Just the latest updates really are that there was an actor in the movie that wanted to remain anonymous. So we don't know which actor this is, but the actor reported. Now remember, the narrative up until now has been that Lord and Miller, the original directors on the Han Solo movie, who directed the Lego movie, who were subsequently fired from the Han Solo movie, they had a kind of, I guess you could say, funny enough, you bring up Community. They had a kind of Community approach to the movie. They were kind of saucing it up, like making it a little funnier than I think Kathleen Kennedy, who runs Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy was getting a little nervous, I think, because they were being a little too jokey or something like that, a little too lighthearted. Anyway, there was reports that came out that Alden Ehrenreich, the guy who plays Han Solo, just didn't really know what he was doing. He wasn't hitting the marks that Lord and Miller wanted him to hit. Everybody else was fine, but they had to bring on an acting coach onto the set for Alden Ehrenreich. This was what was being reported up until now. Anyway, so that narrative is that Lord and Miller were pretty much doing their thing, Kathleen Kennedy being a moron like she is, and then Alden Ehrenreich being a problem. Now there's an actor that came out that wants to stay anonymous that reported that Lord and Miller, they were characterizing Lord and Miller as being kind of goofballs and not taking it seriously enough, and that they might have been really genuinely an issue.
Was it Woody Harrelson?
What's up?
Was it Woody Harrelson?
We don't fucking know. My guess would be Danny Glover. He just seems like the kind of person that would talk about this shit. But it just makes the ball of fire worse, dude. It's just one story after another. And, I know Ron Howard is a competent director. He's the one who came in to take over the project. But I don't know. This movie has failure written all over it. Not failure accomplished, just failure in general. I don't think the box office projections are going to be high. It's going to lose them a lot of money. And apparently, before they even shot the Solo movie, they were already putting together the Solo Adventures. In other words, they wanted 2 or 3 of these movies. I don't think that's fucking happening now. Like, who's talking about the Solo movie? Did you know the Solo movie is, what is it? The Solo movie's 3 or 4 weeks away?
I stopped paying attention months ago.
Exactly, but it's like, it's fucking like 4 weeks away or something like that. And no one's talking. It's the Solo movie is 4 weeks away, and people are still bitching about Last Jedi. Like, that's a problem, Disney. And like, I really hope there's a management shift. You know, Kathleen Kennedy can get moved out of the creative department for Lucasfilm because she's not doing a good job leading creatively at all. And if that happens, I really hope that because that happens, Rian Johnson loses his trilogy. Because that is the last thing I'm excited for now after seeing Last Jedi twice in theaters. That the guy who directed and wrote Last Jedi has a trilogy of Star Wars films in the works. Count me not in.
It's like that scene in South Park where like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg bend Indiana Jones over the.
Oh god! No, don't they fuck a stormtrooper at one point?
I think so.
Yeah, they fuck a stormtrooper too. Like that's what's happening. Except it's Kathleen Kennedy, and honestly, if I was George Lucas right now, I'd feel so good about myself because the original 6 films, like Kathleen Kennedy is doing an amazing job at making the prequels look really good. Like, I look at the prequels now and I'm like, oh, thank God they weren't Last Jedi. Like, that's a problem. Right? I feel like Brockus is...
That is
Brockus, are you going to see Han Solo opening night?
I don't think it's going to be opening night.
That's what I mean. That's a fucking Star Wars movie. Shouldn't we have already bought our tickets? Like
that's the depressing part, dude. They're killing my want to see Star Wars in theaters again. And you know me. There are 2 things in this world that are some like the most important shit to me: Star Wars and comic books. And Star Wars comic books are my fucking lifeblood.
What's up, Ozzy? Stop breathing so hard and just get what's on your chest. Get it off your chest.
No, it's just yeah, no, I agree with Brockus. You know, it's like I grew up watching, fucking Star Wars, and it just feels like, hey, we're Disney. Would you like a piece of turd called Star Wars? And
hey,
the first time they fucking present it to you, they cover it up. Doesn't actually look like a piece of turd, but they're just like, come on, take a bite, and you take a bite, and you're just like, oh god, what is that?
And they're like, don't worry, it's just Chinese girl taste. And I'm like, I don't like that taste because I don't like that character. And they're like, no, just eat more. Anyway,
why don't you sit down and enjoy this meal? You love the Star Wars films. You love the Star Wars themed decks.
No, fuck off. Why
Escargot.
don't you sit down and enjoy the meal of the Star Wars?
Sit down and enjoy the meal of the Star Wars. You will
Okay,
sit
we
here.
will finish.
You will enjoy this.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy's like that lazy Frenchman. Like, Kathleen, come on, we gotta fix the writing on these movies. Okay, I will finish my cigarette first.
Can you not see I'm smoking a cow?
Kathleen, now! Let me finish my crumpets and my cigarette. I'll get to it.
I'm eating a baguette. You fuck off until I'm done with this.
I wonder if you could put Baggett on Twitter and get banned.
Oh, good one.
Oh, I get it because it rhymes with faggot.
That was the joke. Okay, moving on. Okay, so Solo's gonna fucking suck. We're calling it. You know what? I don't think Solo's gonna be the worst thing ever. In fact, there's things in the movie that for a long time when I was a kid, I always dreamt of seeing. So I'm sure there's going to be some cool imagery and some cool moments, but it's going to be a movie that I will want to forget once I do see it. I know I will see it eventually, but I just
It's
don't.
gonna be a
I'm
pretty
not
picture of
hyped.
no substance.
I'm not hyped. So I did want to talk about the Zuckerberg trials, but I feel like that might have been talked to death. I
Catch me
just
on-
thought
Catch me on MySpace. How about that?
I did really enjoy Ted Cruz just ripping him to shreds. And this creepy fucking android just sitting there not knowing how to take these insults, not knowing how to answer questions. But I don't know. I feel like that's been talked to death. I know that there's this weird push to like make MySpace accounts. You need to stop and grow up. Knock it off. Just
Hey man, Gulf City,
Stop!
Schmeckel, myself, Sinatra,
I've heard.
and Lo-Fi. We've already made profile.
No, never.
Just saying.
Kadun, no. Yesterday, Kadun walked up to me and was like, "What songs should I put on my list?" and I was like, "What songs are you talking about? What are you talking about for MySpace?" And I thought she was joking, and I was like, "Oh, that's really funny, ha ha ha." And she's like, "No, I created MySpace," and I got angry, and I got very angry, and I'm gonna stay
High
angry
school.
until you knock it off and grow up. Just delete your Facebook, and don't do the MySpace. But if you do the MySpace, by the way, guys, anyone that's watching, make sure to tag nigger in your description or bio.
I think
I want to
Sophie already
see
has that on his.
what if MySpace becomes the bastion of free speech, and then it's rebirthed from the ground. If someone does that, I'll make a MySpace.
I actually
But
asked Sophie in DMs. I was just like, with Gulf City poisoning the well, some of the Cuntstream and proper villains actually joining MySpace again. Do you think it will somehow breathe new life into it? He said no, which is funny because when I rewatched the Blunt stream last night, I heard basically everybody there saying the exact same shit, and I'm just cracking the fuck up. Like, okay, well, at least everybody's just on the same page here. Like, we don't think this is going to actually bring MySpace back, but
I
fun
hate
joke.
creating I hate creating accounts for anything.
just use your Twitter.
I don't care. Anyway, moving on. Brockus, do you want to talk about another piece of movie news that I actually think you would get a hard on for? Or do you want to talk about Rooster Teeth being little SJW fags?
Oh, damn it, Rooster Teeth. Why? Why do you have to do these things to me?
I died
All-
a little. Inside
All of
here.
these great companies and names and titles that I used to love when I was younger, when I was a teen or a
Would
young
you shut your
adult.
mouth and choose, Mr. Rantman?
Actually, I want to hear something I would love.
Okay. It Chapter 2. Stephen King's It Chapter 2. We got some casting news.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, so we have one locked down. For Beverly. Who would you have guessed they would have casted for Beverly?
Oh, I really don't want to see certain actresses
Adult
there.
Beverly, sorry.
Yeah, adult Beverly. But I there are certain actresses I really don't want to see there, but there is one I would love to see as adult Beverly. Emma Stone.
It's
Way
the chick-
off.
Damn,
chick from Bad Santa 2. I can't remember her name.
too old.
What is wrong with you? Anyway, no. They locked down Jessica Chastain as Bev. I'm totally cool with this.
Why does that name sound familiar? What was she in?
Have you seen Interstellar? She plays the daughter when the daughter's grown up.
No, I never saw Interstellar.
Buck, what else was she in? She was in Zero Dark 30.
Oh, I know her. Yeah, I love that chick. She's such a good actress and hot as fuck.
Yeah. And a good redhead. So they locked her down. Now, guess what the two rumors are well, not rumors. It's true that they are in the running for the role. Like they're talking with their agents and things are being planned out. So nothing's locked down, but it looks like it's going to be them. Adult Bill, James McAvoy.
What? Oh, James McAvoy. Oh my God, I fucking love that man. Oh yes.
Now, hold on. Your favorite character, Adult Richie, Bill Hader.
Fucking yes. Oh my God, yes.
See, I
Him as a
fucking
hater.
knew you would love this. Like, because we were trying to cast the adults for It Chapter 2. Like, it's a really fun experiment. Everyone was doing that.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't think I
man.
chose. I don't think I ever thought of James McAvoy or Bill Hader. But
I
when
don't
I
think
heard
either
those
of us.
choices, I was like, okay, that's fucking awesome. That's spot on. I'm
Yeah,
down
no,
with it.
That's fucking perfect. I love Bill Hader. That dude he cracks me up in ways I didn't expect to be cracked up. I don't know what it is. Like I think it's his extreme face expressions when he does crazy characters, or maybe it's how he can go into these weird eccentric characters without any fucking like trouble whatsoever.
Yeah. Now I want to be clear to anyone that's watching. Brockus liked the first It. I almost loved the first It. We're talking about the new one in theaters that recently came out, Part 1 or Chapter 1. I almost loved it, but it had a lot of issues. But there was things in the movie that were done so right that I couldn't help but almost fall in love with it. I hope they recapture the magic and make improvements. You know, a lot less of the loud noises and the slamming of the jump scares. Like, just scare me, but calm down with the music. Improve some of the acting. The acting is going to be improved. So, and here's the there's a rumor, a genuine rumor for adult Ben. You want to take a wild crack at that one?
Well, in the story, Ben is supposed to have actually slimmed down a lot.
Yep.
But actually, like,
And they chose somebody that's pretty slim, rocking, and kicking ass in Hollywood right now.
Is it Chris Pratt?
It is.
oh, that actually is perfect because Chris Pratt used to be chubby.
That does work, huh? I didn't think about
Yeah.
that. That fucker
Yeah.
was chubby.
He gained a lot of weight specifically for the show. What was it? Not 30 Rock. It was, the show that he was on.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec. Yeah, he gained a lot of weight specifically for that role because he's supposed to
Yeah.
be like some fat, funny kid.
Yeah. No, that would be a great casting, but that one's just pure rumor. Anyway, I thought that by the way, Bill Skarsgård is returning as the clown, so we got that locked down. But let's move on to another movie, shall we?
Sure.
Okay. Well, we had a gentleman that was behind the genius of films like the Lethal Weapon series, right?
Uh-huh.
This certain gentleman was also involved with the original Predator movie. An uncredited writer, but he wrote some of the Predator movie. This guy goes off to make a little film called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. You remember Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
I do. Not a whole lot, but I do remember Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
That movie is so fucking kick-ass. His directorial debut. The gentleman's name is Shane Black. Shane Black kicks ass. He's an amazing writer, but he started dabbling in directing as of about 12 or so years ago. Eventually, Shane Black is handed the reins of Iron Man 3. He is the man behind the genius of Iron Man 3. If you hate Iron Man 3, I'm sorry. We totally disagree. I love that movie.
It was a great movie. Iron
We're
Man 2,
sorry
however.
you're wrong.
We're sorry you're wrong. Well, Shane Black has been very upset in the last few years about the treatment of the Predator. He said to himself, well, I know how to direct now, and I wrote some of the Predator script. I contributed to that script and that story. I understand the Predator. I worked on the first film. I'm gonna bring it back. So
Is this what?
I'm sorry.
Is this the crossover movie?
No, not to. No. I would be pissed if it was. But Shane Black decided to bring back the Predator series. I think he's acknowledging that the first Predator happened and that's it. Nothing else is canon. So he's been filming. It's called The Predator. Just a simple, straight name. But he's been filming. He wrote it. And I've been excited because it's Shane Black. And I think he does understand Predator. But something happened last week. It was leaked by Key and Peele. There's Jordan Peele, right? And then what's the other guy's name? Keegan Michael Key?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Keegan Michael Key, who's in the movie The Predator, he reported that recently they did a whole set of reshoots and rewrites for about 3/4 of the third act of this movie. You can respond one of two ways. Is this troubling and now we're worried that the Predator isn't going to have the return we want it to have as far as, the return to glory? Or number two, does Shane Black still know what he's doing and this was probably a good fix?
I don't know. I think I'm going to trust Shane on this one just because he does know the original Predator a little more than most of the people that have actually had the property in their hands for a while now. Like Predator 2, as much as I actually really do not like Predator 2, it was actually a little more decent than some of the other movies. Predators, I actually enjoyed, but basically it's another one of those guilty pleasures of mine where I know it's a bad movie, but I still enjoy it.
Yeah, fair enough. It didn't do it for me, and I thought it was really bad. But
yeah,
I know you really enjoyed it. Just like I grew up on Predator 1 and 2. Predator 1 to this day stands up. Predator 1 is just an amazing movie. Predator 2 is cheesy and pretty gay at times, but when I was young, I didn't know that, so I have an affinity for Predator 2. Even though it's going to be non-canon now as far as Shane Black's timeline.
Yeah. One thing I will point out about Predators is it just goes to show you that there are certain actors in this world that no matter what you do, you cannot escape the typecasting. Because when I watch that movie now, every time I see Adrian Brody on screen, I don't see action star. I don't see a badass, replacement for fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger after so many years of, him kind of retiring from action movies, so to speak. I still see drug addict cop from New York or drug addict criminal from New York. Like there's,
dude, and Predators came out in 2010?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was still like the around the time that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was kicking ass in movies and really was risen up. Why the fuck was he not that role?
I don't know. It's a really good question because even at that time, John Cena and Mike Wazowski, The Miz, was also Mizanin, I'm sorry, was also doing action movies at that time, and I'm like, you could have just did what they did with fucking Jesse the Body Ventura in the first Predator movie. Just put a wrestler in there. You're gonna get the same shit.
No. You know what would have been fucking badass? You would have loved this, don't you lie. Is if in the Predators movie, the lead character, instead of Adrian Brody, it was Stallone.
I actually would have.
And then they would be able to have Stallone and Schwarzenegger in that universe.
Yeah, that would have. It would have been the only time you'd actually
get a man. Get a manly fucking. I miss that 80s. I like in the 80s those action movies. it got the testosterone flowing. Like when I watched like Commando when I was little, like you're not gonna be that, but I don't know.
It's those
It's a weird
one-liners.
way. Like it seems like comical on the surface, but it genuinely is like good stuff for kids to look up to. Like you don't want to exactly be that, but it's something good to emulate. Like just such a fucking badass. And then you have Adrian Brody, and Adrian Brody looks like he eats cigarettes and smokes lettuce. And you're just like, I know I am that. Like, I know I probably look like that, like a weakling, but I don't want to dream to be that.
Yeah.
I want to dream to be Schwarzenegger at his prime. Like,
It's really sad because like even when you got Predator 2, when you saw oh my god, what is his name? Donald Glover? Danny Glover. When you got Danny Glover as the main protagonist in Predator 2, like he was still fit in that role because we had Murtaugh in the Lethal Weapon movies at the same fucking time.
right. And
So
you
it
don't always
wasn't
have to be,
thing.
you don't always have to be like, have 30-inch guns to be manly. Like
Right.
Danny Glover still like he could emanate just the feeling of like he's a man. Like on screen, on his screen presence is very manly. And he's not even like, super beefcake guy. I always loved Danny Glover on screen. I love Murtaugh.
Right.
This keeps getting too old for that shit.
Exactly. But that's the brilliant thing because he was doing the Lethal Weapon movies around the same time that Predator 2 had come out and everything. I think Lethal Weapon 2 had been out at that point. But basically, like
No, I think they got to 3 because Predator 2 was like 92 or some shit.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
Lethal Weapon 3, I think, was 92, maybe 93.
You want to know something crazy? I haven't seen any of the Lethal Weapons.
Jude, you're missing it. Like, okay,
You're
You're
doing a
missing
disservice
out.
to yourself.
you're
really
missing
are.
out. Like, Lethal Weapon is the standard, and everything else, as far as buddy cop movies that has come after, they just have tried to emulate that magic. And even though I think Lethal Weapon 4 was a bit dodgy, it still like kept everything together. It was still like I love those characters, but that the guy like Shane Black is responsible for that Lethal Weapon series, and that's the guy. Like the whole reshoots thing and everything for the third act, I trust him. I don't think I am worried.
Yeah, it's sometimes when I hear reshoots for certain projects, I get really nervous. Like shoots for Suicide Squad and Justice League. Oh God, it's gonna be a fucking trash fire. It was.
Well, it was a trash fire. What you have to understand though is like if you and I got together and we came up with a film and all that stuff, and then we go out and film, like it's like writing. Okay, are you really gonna turn in your first draft?
No, but that's what I mean. Like sometimes when you hear
you're a
reshoots,
moron if you're gonna turn in your first draft. That's why like it bothers me when people think reshoots in general are bad. When you just hear reshoot, you think bad. It's like, no, that's the second draft. They have filmed the thing. They've taken it to an editing bay. They've looked at the movie as a whole, and they're like, here's what we need to fix. What is wrong with that? The problem is like when it comes to films like Suicide Squad, not only is it, confirmed that there's reshoots going on, with Suicide Squad, it was that the rumors were like the
Slipknot
motive
was going to be the greatest character ever.
Yeah, the motive behind the reshoots was the problem for us with Suicide Squad, because the motive what we were hearing was that it was pretty dirty executive like polls.
yeah,
Like executives were getting around and like it's just the wrong atmosphere creatively.
it was just that situation where you have like you hear reshoots and you have to hear the rest of the context to know why.
Exactly. And I think with the reshoots and the rewrites, especially when you hear rewrites, like, and Shane Black is writing and directing this thing, like, that to me says, okay, second draft, maybe even third draft, but he's fixing it as it goes along, and reshoots are totally fucking normal. I mean, Lord of the Rings had massive reshoots.
Yeah.
Massive.
And those movies turned out to be fucking amazing. The Matrix trilogy, massive reshoots. Well, I wouldn't say massive, but they still had a lot of reshoots.
That's not a great example, though.
It's not a great. It still has a huge fan following. Okay, and specifically, I meant mainly just the first Matrix movie. Because
are you down for I can't lie, I got a little bit of a chub when I was hearing rumors about a Matrix 4. And this was very recent that within the last year, Keanu Reeves has been sitting down with the Wachowski sisters now. They're both girls.
Yeah, I know.
He's been sitting down with the Wachowskis, and they've been chopping it up. Like, they've been
That's not the only thing they've been chopping up.
Really? Yeah, I had to take it there.
But yeah, they were caught having been like sitting down eating, stuff like that. Usually that kind of points towards like, okay, they're talking about something. I do hope they bring the Matrix back. If I know this is like kind of digressing, but Brockus, Ozzy, if they brought the Matrix back, and we can even ask the chat too, because the Matrix does have a lot of fans, but fans that were really upset with the outcome of the whole thing. But
one of them.
If they brought the Matrix back, would you want a reboot or a sequel?
Probably a reboot, but like a really good reboot, kind of like what happened with Dredd.
Well,
only
of course
because
we want it good.
Well, yeah, but only
I
because
just was asking, like, do you want the stuff that happened in the trilogy to be canon, or do you want it wiped away with a clean slate?
I guess I would want it wiped away with a clean slate, because I am actually one of those people that I was a huge fan of the first Matrix movie, and then the second and third movies just they left such a nasty taste in my mouth. I was just like, you know what? No, this is actually a really shitty story. I don't like it.
I remember the first time I went to see The Matrix Reloaded, and I was a young, energized, spry, excited little kid, and I fell asleep during the movie. Like, it's The Matrix 2, and I fell asleep. Like, that's an issue. I feel like they can't do anything but reboot. Or if they do the thing that the Predator does and they just ignore the sequels.
Take the mic away from your mouth.
Ozzy, stop breathing into the fucking mic or mute yourself, bro.
That better?
Anyway, I thought that was an interesting discussion, but that is better. Brockus, you want to move on to Avengers Infinity War? Which, do you want to tell everybody what you bought a couple days ago?
Aside from tickets to an actually decent fucking good horror movie,
which we can talk about later, yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that in a little bit. Yes, I have officially pre-ordered, pre-purchased my tickets, mine and Zell's tickets, for the opening night of Infinity War.
It was the honeymoon gift that I had always wanted.
I hate you so much.
we
got to take a picture.
We got
Ozzy, get your fucking ticket already, you little shit.
He won't even be able to sit with us, so I don't know what the point is. But yes, you do need to get your ticket and get that mic out of your fucking mouth.
Call ahead to the Galaxy Theater and find out if they have seatings next to us. I'll give you the information a little later.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited, but here's the thing. Avengers Infinity War, it looks like it's going to demolish the previously held record of the highest domestic weekend box office gross. Do you want to guess what movie holds the record?
Iron Man.
No. Ozzy, mute yourself, or I'm gonna mute you.
Avengers.
Fucking A. No.
Is this specifically for the MCU?
No. I'm talking about like movies in general. Like
Okay.
yeah, the record for the highest box office was or domestic box office, sorry. And it was 247 million. Do you want to guess what movie holds that record?
I want to say it's either Batman versus Superman or Justice League.
The highest?
I don't know.
What the fuck are you talking about? Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Justice League, really?
Yeah, that was everybody really was highly anticipating that movie. People
No.
would shut the fuck
I'm
up.
talking about the actual box office numbers that it made in its first weekend.
Its first weekend. Oh, I thought you meant like pre. I for some reason thought you were talking about pre-sale or
No.
pre-sales.
No. I'm talking about the actual money that it made in its first weekend in the U.S. Now the highest is 247 million. Who holds that record? Star Wars: The Force Awakens does. It looks like Avengers: Infinity War has a good chance of fucking demolishing that.
Well, fun fact about that, it is actually somebody went through and crunched the numbers and discovered that this is actually the highest combined of all the MCU movies combined. This has the highest pre-sales out of all the other movies.
Well, I was actually just going to get to that stat, and that's a little wrong, because the pre-sales on this movie are insane. I believe it's smashed a new record, but you're kind of right. The pre-sales for Avengers: Infinity War combined are more than the pre-sales for the last 7 Marvel movies combined.
Oh, it was the last 7. Okay.
It's still crazy to think like only 7 because they've made so many goddamn movies. But that's fucking insane. Like when I heard this, I was like, "Oh, thank God we got our seats then." Because when we went to the theater, the lady there was like, "Oh, don't worry, they probably won't sell out." I want to go back and be like, "Bitch, you don't know what you're talking about." Shit's probably like our theater's probably filled up already. The ones that we selected from.
I wouldn't say completely sold out, but maybe our time slot might be completely sold out. Who knows?
Anyway, it's like, oh my God, that's fucking insane. And you know who's not gonna get that? Solo.
Yeah,
who's probably not gonna get that? I mean, they'll get good pre-sales, but I don't think this record is gonna be smashed by Star Wars Episode 9. And a year ago, I would have said the opposite. I would have been like, you're insane if you think Avengers is going to beat, you know what I mean, a Star Wars movie. But now it's like, I don't care about Star Wars. And yeah, the Avengers Infinity War is probably going to hold this record.
Yeah. No, actually, I have to agree with you. I think this is officially like the new I guess you could say Star Wars, because like in the past, Star Wars would have just like stomped everybody to the ground.
Just like Princess Leia said, dude. It's at this point, Marvel movies are our last hope. They kind of are.
Yeah.
I mean, so many other big budget franchises have been driven into the ground, and my heart has just been crushed. The Marvel movies, they haven't hurt me yet. Like, they haven't touched me in the wrong place yet.
They've annoyed us from time to time. They haven't completely killed our spirits.
All right, so I want to touch on this real quick, because I seem to be in the minority here. When it comes to Avengers Infinity War, I got a lot of friends that they seem to think that, oh, there's going to be a lot of death in this one. So I want to hear in the chat too. Like in the chat, you guys tell me who you think will die in Avengers Infinity War. I of course I want to hear from Brockis and Ozzy, but I'll just say real fast, I'd have to think a while about like who is gonna die. But I can't see more than 2 characters dying in this. I say 2 tops, maybe 1.
Ozzy, you want to go?
Yeah. One of the obvious ones, Cap. Cap's gonna go. Like that one's pretty much kind of a given, especially since Chris Evans' contract is actually coming up.
Well, remember that this is I think this is what's going to confuse some audiences. I think a lot of audiences might actually get a little upset by the ending of this movie because I feel like it's going to be a cliffhanger. Because I don't think the mainstream audience has a really good idea of the fact that this is a part 1 of a 2-parter.
Yeah.
So this
Also,
is
the fact that they're still calling Captain America Captain America, even though he's dressed up as the Nomad.
Yeah, like this is the first half of the end of the climax. But I think a lot of the mainstream audience, they're going to think that this is it. Like this is the final film.
Most likely, I guess I can see your point on that if no one's really paying attention to it. But like, I mean, originally when when the Infinity War was announced, they announced it as part 1.
Yeah, and then they dropped the part 1 from the title. They're going to have a different title for the part 2, but they have filmed part 1 and 2 at the same time. I believe they might still be filming for the second part if they haven't wrapped up yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I get kind of annoyed by some of the theories out there or some of the claims. Like I have some friends that'll just straight up say like, "Oh yeah, Tony Stark's gonna die in this one." I'm like, "Are you a moron?" Like the whole mentor, character arc, story arc, it needs to still be completed in the Spider-Man movies. He's not done. He is gonna go away eventually, but I think Tony Stark's gonna come out of this whole Infinity War thing, both parts. I think he's gonna come out okay. A really changed man, but I think he's gonna be okay. I think Tony Stark's gonna be one of the ones that gets a sweet little ending.
If anything, I mean, it's not going to go, obviously, because the movies haven't gone 100% with the comics every single time because they're movies. If they try to do some semblance to it, it's going to end up being Spider-Man and Iron Man standing, left standing. That is if they don't put Adam Warlock in, which they have mentioned multiple times. That might be the case.
Yeah, Adam Warlock's not showing up till Guardians 3. We have that confirmed, I think, from James Gunn. So there might be a mention or something, but I still haven't. This is weird. I still haven't heard from Brockis who he thinks might bite the dust, if anybody is going to bite the dust.
Yeah, I actually have a few things to pretty much put on this. Basically, for somebody who knows the comic books really well, and that these comic book movies have actually followed some, if not a good portion, of the source material's actual what would you say, traditions? There are certain things that are very plausible to happen. Now, here's one of the reasons why I say Tony Stark and Captain America are both going to die. Both Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans are done with the franchise. They have not, as far as I know, renewed any contracts with Disney or Marvel Studios or anything like that.
Real quick, I'll counter you on that, and then you can reply. What about the mentor story arc in Spider-Man with Tony Stark and Peter Parker? Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So one of the traditions that Marvel does tend to actually do is their concept of rebirth. And what this is it's actually something that they sort of started doing back in the 80s, around the time that Disney started doing this. But it's basically this idea that a character will die, air quotes, but then eventually they will come back. For example, Steve Rogers has died in the Marvel Comics multiple times, probably more than Wolverine has. And Wolverine has probably got the highest death count out of everybody in that entire fucking universe. But Steve and Logan both consistently keep coming back. It's mainly because the fans miss them so much while they're gone, but also a lot of times they will do stories like what was it?
But I don't want to see Tony Stark die and then come back. That's gonna be gay.
Well, no. Here's what I mean, though, by this. There was an actual story arc that happened back in the 1990s. Marvel kept writing themselves into corners with every single book that they had. Even the X-Men, Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Avengers were consistently going into these really unfortunate situations where either they were creating far too many Omega-level, world-ending, universal fucking level god-tier characters, or they were just not able to actually write their characters the way they should be. So Marvel did a reboot. What they did was a special character from the Fantastic Four, namely Franklin Richards, who actually is a god tier like character, who's probably one of the most powerful beings the Marvel universe has ever had, basically saved all of the Marvel heroes and villains by putting them into a pocket dimension that he created entirely out of nowhere at random. And they lived in that universe, but that universe was unstable. So Franklin Richards again created a new universe, which is the 616 universe, and inevitably created what is known as the Marvel Reborn series. It was a mini series, but this was how the Marvel series came out of their unfortunate writing shit funk back in the 90s to inevitably give us what we had since the late 90s to almost current. They could do something similar with Infinity War, with Thanos, because one of the powers of the Infinity Gauntlet is it has the power to do damn near anything you wish. Now, I think that what's going to happen is we're going to see Tony Stark and Steve Rogers and Peter Parker and a few other characters actually die on screen. But at some point in number 2, we're going to see them get reborn. New actors are going to take over.
Okay. I'm starting to connect the dots in my head, and I like where you're going with this, because one of the rumors about the movie is it revolves around Doctor Strange. That apparently, when it comes to the script, a lot of the characters, a lot of the actors in the movie, they were permitted to read only certain sections of the script. They're the chunks that they were responsible for. This way they could avoid spoiler leaks as much as possible. You tell me why then Benedict Cumberbatch, of all the actors, was entrusted with the entire script. And there's a lot of talk about how Doctor Strange is actually a very big, important piece of the puzzle of this movie. And if he's as big a piece of the puzzle as the script fact is letting on, then maybe, going with your idea, maybe we see a lot of death on camera. But not all of those deaths are certain, because Time Stone or some kind of magic that Doctor Strange implements. And then part 2 could be like the first act of part 2 could be about rewinding time to save those certain characters. Because we have seen leaked photos on set of Tony Stark and Thor and Loki dressed up looking exactly how they did in the first Avengers movie. That doesn't make sense unless there's some kind of implementation of the Time Stone and Doctor Strange utilizing it to save them. So maybe there is some death, a lot of death on camera, and then part 2 is about saving them somehow through some time warp shit or dimensions.
Yeah, actually, one of the things
That'd be fun as fuck.
One of the things that people tend to not realize or tend to forget about when it comes to Doctor Strange is how ridiculously powerful the Sorcerer Supreme truly is. The guy is on a level most people could not comprehend. Time walking is nothing for him. Dimension walking is nothing for him. He makes the planeswalkers from the MTG lore look like bitches.
What's up, Ozzy?
There's a reason why during the Civil War in the comics, he sat out. Because whichever side he decided to join, they automatically would have won. So he sat out and went and fasted in a different dimension.
Doctor Strange is actually one of the most underrated, powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. Essentially, he is a man who has the powers of the universe almost completely.
Talking about underrated, I think his movie is underrated. I mean,
it is.
If you have seen Doctor Strange once and you came off of it lukewarm, you're exactly where I was. When I saw it in theaters, I was very lukewarm on it. Brockus remembers I was kind of like meh. And then I watched it again. And it's one of my favorites, if not my favorite Marvel film, and I think it's actually a bit of a masterpiece. It's a beautiful movie. I love the character. It's got some problems still, but I think it's a fucking wonderful movie. Very underrated. But enough of this Avengers shit.
Yeah.
Brockus, we're gonna wrap things up here in the command position. I hope you guys have had a good time chilling there with your heroin and your beer. Hopefully not with your 13-year-old sister.
Watching Schmeckel correct my misspeaking on the 616 universe thing with Franklin Richards.
Yeah, Schmeckel just pops in like he fucking owns the place. What is this, the fucking country?
He does. But
what a fuck.
No, Schmeckel does know a lot about Marvel, like despite how much credit.
Well, you've seen his background, like his background layout, which I love. But
yeah, he doesn't like DC, but he's got DC shit there.
Yeah. Tonight we had the amazing Antoine, breaking character. Like we want to see that again. We had Brockus, who essentially filled in for Ozzy, which Ozzy, you're fired. I didn't know. I didn't know if you knew that.
Damn it.
We had Kamikaze Ozzy, the very silent, awkward, but very chill dude. Ozzy is the Doctor Strange movie of the country. He's gonna be a very underrated guy, but he's a good guy. He's a good boy. Hope you guys had a good night. Schmeckel, let's get this fucking thing out of here and return again next week for the command position, fuckers.